What's up? Welcome to day one of this 42-day challenge, 6 weeks. Okay. This video itself is going to talk about the app and the processes inside the actual app itself, as well as just talk about what we're going to try to get to and where we're at right now. Okay. This entire experience is going to be completely different than anything you've done before, simply because we talk differently here and we want to focus on you as the person, as the human, as well as the salesperson that we're going to mold you into, or just dial in a certain aspect of how you close, how you talk, all those things. But ultimately, this is always going to be your game. I always want you to remember that you are who you are, and I can't change that. Your agency owner can't change that. Your manager can't change that. At the core level, you have your core values, and I want you to always stick to those. Okay? We want you to succeed inside a business, but we want you to succeed inside of life. And the key takeaway I want you to take from this video, period, is if you don't have this stuff in order, this stuff is never going to be sustainable, or you're not going to feel fulfilled inside of this. You can make all the money you want in the world. If you got chaos at your house, you got chaos inside of your health, you got chaos inside of your thought of purpose, your connection to God, your connection to whoever you believe in, then the business never matters. So as you go through and build habits inside of each area of these things in your life, you're going to see how it connects to the business side. The more certain you are, the more certain you become inside of business. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen. What you're going to get used to a lot is I love to use my little canvas pad, okay? So I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to start writing. I'll come back. I'm going to go right to the app. We're going to go to different things. So ultimately, it's going to be me and you kind of talking through some different things. And then afterwards, when we get done, you are going to declare what you are going to do for yourself, okay? So that's going to kind of be the game. So as my canvas comes up, I want you to think about this because this is a very simple illustration. But for me, I barely graduated high school. So cartoons help me. Stick figures help me understand what's going on. So I want you to think about this. Whatever your name is, this is you, okay? You're amazing. However you are, however you're built, you're amazing. God created you in perfection. And yeah, we're trying to always get better and achieve new things, but ultimately you got to accept where we are right now. And we accept where we are right now inside of all of these areas that we're talking about, which is our body, which is our being. I'm going to go through each of these, which is our balance, and which is our business. Okay. So this is who we are in 2025 or 26, whenever you're watching this video. That says 25, I promise. And what's the game? The game is to figure out our future self and what that potential is. No matter where you're starting, we got what? 42 days to dial this thing in. You're not going to be your perfect self in 42 days, I promise you. If you are focused on that first word that we wrote down, which is body, you're not going to go say, well, I need to lose 30 pounds. You better not lose them in 42 days or it's not sustainable. Okay. So we're going to figure out what those habits are to achieve the person you want to be. And specifically throughout this process, we're not just going to be talking about all core four. We're going to really focus on business as we get into this game and who you want to become inside the agency as a salesperson, what you want to stand on, what's your certainty, how you talk, how you close, how you go over objections, how you rebuttal, all of those things. So when you think about that, but the person you become is the end game inside of all of these areas, right? And as you start to think about this, I just want you to think about where am I now and where am I trying to go in 42 days? Now, this is day one. Like, let's not overwhelm ourselves and say, oh my gosh, I got to think about this right now. No, I just want you to know what we're trying to do inside of this challenge. And nothing will work unless you work. That goes for business. That goes for everything. That goes for life. The least amount of effort that you apply will be the least amount of results that you get. The more effort you apply, the more results you get. The more focused you are on habits, the better you become. My goal in my life is just to be the most consistent person you've ever met. Do I fail? 100%. Is my balance always perfect? Absolutely not. Do I fight with my wife? 100%. Do I eat pizza at night? 100%. Do I love ice cream? I do. Did I feel disconnected from God for 40 years? I did. Does business always go as I want? Nope. But the reality is the reality. And that's what I want you to think about. Okay. So very simple illustration. So let's get into what we want to get into, which is the app itself. So you're in the app, obviously, because you're watching me. And you may have actually went around and played with some things, which is cool. You went ahead. That's cool. So this first video is simply about you plugging around and trying to figure out what you're looking at. What are all these things I'm trying to do? What are all these different things I'm trying to focus on? So as I'm going to share specifically the app itself, and you're going to see the visual of my board and what mine looks like, and yours isn't going to look like mine. Yours won't look like if your teammates going through the challenge. Yours is not going to look like your teammates. Focus on you. That's where I want you to go at. Okay. This dashboard is going to be a dashboard of data for you, and mine's going to look crazy. Yours is going to look much more simple or completely empty at this point. All of this stuff over here, you're not worried about. All these things down here, you're not so much worried about. We're just focused on what we're going to focus on. I'm going to show you what those are. So this is the dashboard, the very simple process. Let's talk about body, being, balance, and business. In here, you see 8 buttons, right? I only want you to focus on the 4 areas. 8 is the progression, half a point for each of these things. But I really just want you to say, all right, what am I going to do every day for my health and fitness? That's your body point. If you simply look at me and say, Justin, I'm going to eat an apple. Cool. I'm not here to judge what your target is. Or Justin, you're going to eliminate something. I'm going to eliminate the big gulp that I pick up at the gas station on the way to the office every day. Highly suggest it, but cool. That's the game. The moment that you choose to take that action, it's very simple. You just click the buttons. Whether on your phone or whether on the web app, you just click the buttons. If you want to make it harder on yourself, you want to have 2 things, then you click one button, you can do the other thing, click the next button. Same thing inside of Being, which is meditation and memoirs. If this is empty and you say, Justin, I'm going to just stack every day, which I'm going to get into, that's going to be my being target. Or I'm going to close my eyes, I'm going to pray. That's my being target. Or I'm going to meditate for 3 minutes. Anything you desire, hear me, is acceptable because this is your frame, your game. I'm just showing you what the container could be for you. So you say you do that, you click the buttons, you're done. Person 1, person 2. You can focus on one person right now. If you want to make it a little bit more difficult, you can. My focus person every single day is my wife. For the last 8 years, she gets a text, a note, a video message or something in the morning when she wakes up, because I wake up earlier than her usually, telling her how much I honor, love, and appreciate. Usually I'm just focused on something real simple. Thank you so much for taking out the trash yesterday. Thank you so much for taking the kids to school. Whatever it is, I want to acknowledge her and praise her for the things she does for me as her husband. If you got a girlfriend, you got a boyfriend, you got kids, if you don't have any of those, you got parents, you got friends, just choose someone, and it doesn't have to be the same person every day, but this is you creating continuity inside of the balance of your life, your relationships. So the moment I send that text, I come in here, I can check that box. If you want to make it harder, you want to make a second person, cool. That's cool too. And then finally, business, discover and declare. Here's what I want you to focus on inside of this challenge. What can you do every day for the next 6 weeks, during the work week specifically? It's do these challenge videos. That's it. The moment you get them done, you got your business point. Now, life doesn't stop on the weekend. Maybe it does for you. If you wanted to, cool. If you don't, cool. You can play this game 7 days a week. I play it 7 days a week. So if you got to figure out what your business point could be on the weekend, what could that be? It could be you listening to Audible book and strengthen your mind inside of closing. It could be you sending an email to a prospect and trying to close them. Anything, okay? Again, I will continue to say, this is your game. This is your frame. I just give you the box to actually apply. So that's the dashboard. Another place you can do the exact same thing I just showed you is this core button. Same thing. The cool part is you get to watch the guy grow over on the right. So the moment you press these buttons, you get to see these things grow, and here you are doing your core. Okay? So that's the main thing in here. Now, right now, you're watching me inside the Armory. So you're already inside of one of these things. So this is your target every single week, right? So it's going to look like something like this. You're watching me because you already hit this button. Down below is your action item form. You're going to put your name, you're going to put your email, you're going to put your agency owner or manager email and your agency name, and then you're going to choose what day of the week it is or what week you're on. So I would say week 1. This is day 1 video, Monday. And what is my focus? Okay, here's what it says. I'm going to read it. What is your takeaway from today's topic? What is your one measurable item you can take action on based upon today's focus? Doesn't have to be earth-shattering, but something you can apply as pass or fail to, or a yes, I accomplished this today, or simply no, unfortunately, I did not get it done. We're not tracking this stuff later. This is you being honest with yourself and saying, I'm going to do X, Y, or Z. It could be as simple as I'm going to poke around the app today. Cool. You're going to send this off. It's going to be automatically emailed to your team member, your manager, your owner, and it's an accountability piece to see that you're doing the work. We're not here to give you like test questions when in reality they don't really matter because you didn't pay attention to the video. We're here to create action items for you to actually do. So every day, as you see on the left-hand side, you're going to have new videos. I would challenge you not to continue to move past until the day of, but who am I? I can't control you, okay? You're super excited and you work ahead. That's cool. One thing you will see is an optional Sunday commitment video. That is always going to be there for you to go and declare something that you're going to do for that week coming up. I would challenge you to say, I'm going to declare this many items or this much premium in sales or this many referral commitments or whatever. But you're declaring what you're going to do, and you're going to build this new version of yourself that does what they say they're going to do. If we can create an army of people who simply do what they say they're going to do, imagine the possibility of what could happen. So these are where your modules are. Secondly, chat. If you have other team members inside of here, you have the ability to chat with those team members inside of the chat feature. You can add them to the chat feature. You can add whoever to the chat feature. You can continue to add the things and share those. Tribe. When we get into sharing stacks, we're going to talk about stacking in a later video. I'm just going to simply show you what's going on. But this is a place where you can share your stacks and share your takeaways. Again, we're going to get deeper into that in another video, but don't worry about that right now. Assessments. You do have limited access to this. If you want to play with this, you can. This is not required for the challenge, but you get to click on this and it's going to walk you through some set of questions and you're going to see where you're at. I would challenge you to say, do the assessments day 1 and then do the assessments in day 42 and see your progression from the beginning to the end, because you can always look back at the assessments and the history of those assessments. So the history of those are always going to be here for you to download and see what your point totals are inside of that. Finally, the stack. We're going to have a full video, probably in a few days, about stacking. Stacking is an order of questions to make you open up your mind and emotions about certain situations. It's just a chatbot, but it's a chatbot by structure. For example, again, we're going to get in this more detail, but if we say we're irritated with someone, okay? Let me delete that. If we say we're irritated with someone, I say, what are you going to title this irritation stack? My fellow salesperson, okay? Let's just say, let's do the trigger that people can always reference. They stole my lead, right? Where's this thing going to be? It's going to be in business. Who are you stacking? We're going to call her Susie. In this moment, why is Susie triggering you to feel irritated? She stole my lead from ALM, just making some things up. Again, it's going to walk you through all these steps inside of this. And again, we're not getting into this right now, but that's what's going to happen inside of stacking. It is the most powerful gift that you could possibly receive from me. I promise you, but it's only as powerful as the useful nature that you take advantage of. Okay. That's it for day 1. We're not going crazy. We have 42 days to attack things. Every single day, you're going to get an email reminding you of your lesson, maybe a text, depending on if I can get that thing set up and it works. And then Sunday, you have the optional email that will come, as well as the optional task to do so. You'll learn stacking by Friday, because every single Friday, you're going to have a discovery stack, which is essentially, here's what I've discovered about myself, my process at the agency, my person, and here's my discovery. And you're going to share that with your manager, your owner. They're going to see that you're doing the work through the authenticity and honesty that you have inside of this process. Non-negotiable. You're signed up. It's time to go. So again, if you trust me, follow me along this journey for 6 weeks. I will not let you down, I promise you. If you just watch the videos and you don't do the work and you don't check the boxes and you don't focus on yourself, you will absolutely fail, I promise you. And that's not my fault, that's yours. And that goes for everything. If you apply that to the rest of your life, if you're failing inside of sales right now and you look at the process you're deploying every single day, and is it the process that your agent trained you upon? Is it the metrics that they told you would work? If so, it's not working, you can look back at them and say, I've done everything you told me to do and it's not working. I need better guidance. If you're not 100% committed to that, then you can only look in the mirror and say, I have failed. They have not failed you. You have failed yourself. And that's the entire game. So welcome. It's a journey. I'm excited to have you. I appreciate you for being here. You can always message me on the app inside the chat if you got questions. I'll be here to answer those. Otherwise, I'll see you on day 2. And I appreciate you. This is Justin, signing out.